Hi guys, Justina here with another Plan With Me spread. So last week, as you can see, I did a horizontal layout for my days, and this week I'm going to try something a little bit different. I start, as I always do, with my little calendar up in the corner, and I highlight the week that we're currently on. I find myself referring to this a lot, so while it may seem tedious, it's definitely a useful feature for me. And you'll notice that when I start plotting out how many or the spaces for each day, I didn't measure it. I just kind of eyeballed it, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal. I don't know, um, but I did try and keep things slightly uniform. So I did count how many spaces between each day, and I tried to keep that pretty much the same. And I did not mind going across the spine of the book there. I thought it might interfere with me like filling out the events and things like that for that day, but it really didn't. So I guess I have to give it up to this notebook laying open pretty flat. And so you can see here I just did one space for each day of the week. There's my head. And I do my days the way that I always do, nothing terribly fancy. But for this week, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do the numbers behind the day instead of kind of near the side like I did in weeks prior. And I just picked one of my Crayola Super Tip markers, my favorite markers. If I didn't mention already, they're like $6, $6 or $7 at Target for the 50 pack, and it has virtually every color you could want. So if you're interested, pick them up. It's a very minimal investment, and I think that they work really great. The tips are quite fine, which is awesome. And the other features that I add every week are my meal planning, and I use that mostly just to kind of remind myself like what is going to be made that day or what we have to look forward to. And I used to include it on I think it was the bottom right. And this time I decided to try something a little bit different because my entire layout is totally different. So I wrote yum, because why not? And I started to fill out just a couple of the days to, mostly because I didn't have any idea what the heck I was going to make the rest of the week, but that's okay. We can just figure it out as we go along. And another feature that I have, as I mentioned before, is I try to include a space in every day for the solid foods that I give my baby girl because it's just nice to remember what I fed her in case she develops some sort of reaction or something. I don't have to, guess what I gave her. I can just tell the doctor. And it's kind of nice to know what she's been preferring. So, and then of course I have my to-do for that week, and I have my future. And the future I tend to only do for the rest of the month, or maybe even the first week of the next month. I don't tend to go, way too far in advance. That's what my future log at the beginning of my journal is for. But I do like to note, if something's coming up in the next week or the next couple of weeks, just so I remember to transfer that to that appropriate weekly spread. And here I'm using some of those fun stickers from the Target Dollar Spot that I mentioned in my little mini haul video, as well as my awesome gray Copic marker, which I bought specifically to kind of add a little bit of shadow and dimension to various parts of my spread. And then there's my awesome Frixion highlighter in blue or green? Green. I think it was green. And finally, I'm just picking some of my fun little rub-ons to add to the journal because, again, that's from Joann Fabrics. It came with an awesome little stencil that I've been using a lot, and you will see me use here again. It has these tiny little squares, which are super nifty. And there's my flip out key. If you're interested in how to do that, I'm going to link my video, my little tutorial video on that. It's super simple. And because I'm just getting the hang of bullet journaling with all of the symbols, it's very, very handy. So you may want to consider getting one for yourself as well. And there's that stencil I was talking about. Yay! I love it. It's pretty great. I don't mind some sloppy squares, but if I need to fit in a lot in a small space, I like using the stencil. It's been very convenient. Well, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below, and I'll see you next week.